Happy New Year and welcome to Beauty Superstars Talk, which is your backstage pass to experts in beauty. My name is Mickey Wright, and I am a salon business coach and salon pricing strategist with beautysuperstars.com. And I help hairstylists go from struggling to superstar by giving them the confidence to be able to raise their prices and charge what they're worth. So I want to welcome you to a brand new year, which is 2022, and we have a great year in store for you. It's like our topic this month will be all about health, wealth, and playing big. And so we're actually going to start at the end of that, which is all about playing big with my guest today, Ms. Jessica Kidd. So we will connect with her in just a second and get started. But I do want to welcome you to the show again. It's like if you are new for the first time, we welcome you. I want to say thanks for joining us. Please feel free to subscribe and come back and join us again. And if you are coming back and returning, we say thank you and want to let you know that each and every week I actually have the privilege to meet with and interview Black beauty bosses who are doing absolutely amazing things in the beauty industry. And so it's exciting because it's not just a podcast. We're here to celebrate excellence. We're here to bring what more intention, I guess you could say, to being better entrepreneurs in the beauty industry, to bring healing to our industry, as well as preserve our history. And so we invite you to come and join us again. It's like I've done over 80 of these interviews. So there's lots of things, lots of nuggets and masterclasses for you to take advantage of. So if you're here on our YouTube page, it's Mickey Wright, just 1K, MIKIWRIGHT. But feel free to subscribe and ring the bell, and we'll notify you when everything is coming out. So it's like we are entering a new year, and I am very excited. It's like Miss Jessica Kidd is one of my first guests on the show. For those of you who are newer, it's like this show was actually born out of the George Floyd murder. Unfortunately, it was a pretty horrific situation, but it definitely spawned racial tensions, or exposed, I guess you could say, throughout the country as well as the world. And it quickly spilled into the beauty industry, which is still one of the most segregated industries in the country. And so, with that, I was invited to be part of a few different groups where there were, high level, I guess you could say, Black artists that were coming together to kind of see, where do we go from here? What do we need? And with one in particular, it's like we had introductions, of who everyone was. And it's like, of course, I knew some people, but didn't know others. And some shared, about different racial things that had happened with them. And some of it was very, very heart pulling. And, but I left from those feeling just super inspired, and that these stories have to be told and have to be heard. And so I invite great, I guess you could say, the best and the brightest of the beauty industry to join me to share their own story and drop nuggets to help us all. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that Jessica is back. It's like we started her episode. It was actually called Do Black Colorists Matter, because she is the founder of Black Colorists Matter on Instagram, which had started way before the George Floyd murder. And so we had a great episode with that, where she brought on not only shared from her own experience of not getting the recognition as a Black colorist, started the movement, you could say, and invited other people to showcase their work who were experiencing a lot of the same things, where we weren't being featured on platforms.
Yes.
So definitely check that out. We'll leave the link below so you can actually see it in its entirety.
Yes.
We actually invited Ramona
Yes.
to join us, who was a sales representative for Wella.
Yes.
And she shared from her perspective in terms of being a distributor and trying to promote and encourage more Black artists to become colorists, and
Yes.
to have more exposure to opportunities that are there within the salon, to be able to partner with some of these companies like Wella and be able to grow their businesses in a much different fashion. So definitely be sure to check out what we talked about before. But let's go for today, because so much has happened since she was here last. And so I can't wait to
So
jump
much.
so much. Wait till you hear. But I do want to share her bio with you, and then we'll jump into our conversation. So Jessica Kidd began her journey in the hair industry at the young age of 19. As a child, Jessica was always intrigued by the women in her life who were seamstresses and beauticians, where she believes her passion for beauty and fashion developed. Upon her high school graduation, Jessica completed all requirements and was an eligible candidate for a cosmetology license. She received her cosmetology license a year later in 2004. Jessica graduated from Morgan State University with a degree in public relations in 2009. She uses PR to explore the fields of beauty and fashion to its fullest potential while applying key public relations principles and practices. After living in Atlanta for almost 3 years, Jessica returned back to her hometown in 2011. Arriving on Baltimore soil, she hit the ground running, relaunching her brand with everything she learned during her stay in Georgia. Seeing the growing demand for trichologists in her area, Jessica became a certified in hair loss in 2016. She created her own line of hair elixirs and in-salon herbal treatments to help clients suffering from dry, damaged, and thinning hair. Her natural products are retailed at House of Bombshell, as well as the salon's complete line of hair care that includes holding spray, shine spray, and their coveted edge control. After noticing the lack of representation, diversity, and inclusion within the hair coloring realm of the hair industry, Jessica launched a social media movement, Black Colorists Matter, or you could say hashtag Black Colorists Matter. Black Colorists Matter platform was created to be a place where Black artists are celebrated, reposted, and recognized. Jessica often instills the importance of continuing education and higher learning in her team and those around her. She is currently pursuing an MBA, which she hopes will take her career in beauty to new and unparalleled levels. She looks forward to nurturing new stylists and mentoring them as they grow in their careers. Seeing new and seasoned talent bloom into their greatest selves under her mentorship and coaching has been fulfilling. Now, as a senior cosmetologist, she looks forward to apprenticing aspiring cosmetologists, growing her assistant program, and the House of Bombshell brand.
Yeah.
And that she has. That's why we really want to focus on the bombshell part and being able to brand like a bombshell.
Yes.
But before we get to that, it's like we've just got so much catching up to do. So welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. As always, it's always a pleasure and honor to sit. Well, I guess should say virtually sit alongside you, Miss Mickey Wright. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. It's like we are so inspired by all that you're doing. And so I really am grateful to have you back because I think, it's like we were together during kind of the beginning of the launch of this and not that long before or since you had started Black Colorists Matter. And so the world was kind of in turmoil with that. And we hadn't even really gotten into all of the stuff that we're into now. It's like we had COVID, we were trying to function and make our way through that. And then everything happened with George Floyd. And it's just been one thing after another these almost 2 years, which is kind of crazy to think. And so we wanted to invite you back to have you speak on, the state of Black colorists at this point and, hear of, what's changed, what hasn't changed or what have you. And so we will definitely talk about that, but a lot has happened for you personally.
Yes.
So I want to let everyone know you got married and not only married, but married twice. And and I might add to the same man. So and so congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What was that experience like during everything we've been going through?
Oh gosh, very stressful because we planned to do a destination wedding to Barbados and we postponed it a year because we're like, okay, next year we're going to be out of this COVID mess. Everything's going to be fine. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't still get married because that is the most important part. The wedding is the celebration of the marriage. So we're like, we're still going to go ahead and get married. So we did.
That was in 2020.
Yes, that was in 2020 when our original wedding date. We met at the place we had our first date in Baltimore at the Inner Harbor, Fells Point. There are a couple places that are right on the water where you can sit, and it's really nice. So we got married on the water right there, downtown Baltimore, right outside of the restaurant. We had our first date. So it meant a lot. And to still have our original wedding date, which is the date that we first started dating 4 years prior, it just was too special to just wait all to the next year. So we did that in 2020 and postponed the wedding to 2021. We get to 2021, I would say around March, and realize, okay, COVID isn't going anywhere. Like there's still so many restrictions. Barbados was very they were very, very strict in what they would allow, their curfews and just everything. So we were like, okay, this may not happen in Barbados. And I was devastated because I'm like, not only did we postpone the year, but we had been planning for about 2 years prior. So this was like 3 years in the making.
Right.
So yeah, I was devastated. I cried like a baby, but I'm so happy that we did it the way that we did. We still end up having somewhat of a destination wedding because we went to Florida. His family, my husband's family, they live part-time in Florida. So we used their backyard. We had a reception in their backyard. It was beautiful. We still made it a weekend long event, and everyone had a great time, and it was far better than what I could have ever imagined. So things work out the way that they're supposed to. So yeah, so that is our crazy wedding story in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's like, well, I have to say, it's like the photos that I've gotten to see are just absolutely incredible. So
Thank you.
you
Thank
had
you.
the glam squad on lock.
Yeah.
And
It's so funny. Yes, because when I had the meeting with the photographer over the phone, he was just asking, oh, well, who's your makeup artist? Who's your hairstylist? And I'm just, being calm. And then I could feel that he was, concerned about who it would be, because of course he wants to guarantee the best, result and outcome and experience for us, for me as the bride and him as the groom. So I'm like, oh, please don't worry. Like the glam is going to be like, yeah, I'm a salon owner. I've been doing hair for a long time, almost 20 years. Trust me, it's going to be good. He was like, oh, okay. No, never mind. It's fine. But once he realized I wasn't actually a resident of Florida, I think he was like, who's on your glam that day? I'm like, trust me, I did my research. We're going to be just fine.
Yeah, well, you did a fabulous job. I mean, I think the entire wedding was fabulous just to see, and actually the first one as well. So,
yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I know you definitely put a lot into it, and just want to say congratulations again. It's like,
thank you so much.
Yeah, a lot going on, and it's nice to see, the happy moments and that.
Yes, because well, as a business owner, a salon owner, having to shut down all of those months and just change the way that we had to do business, it can be a little depressing. It can be hard at times, and just it plays a lot on your mental and your emotional state, and even just being locked inside, and not being able to interact with humans like we used to, hugging and just everything. So it definitely can be a little tough, but just being able to have those moments, those happy moments when we're with our close family and friends in our safe bubble, knowing that we'll be fine. It was definitely, it was great. It was great. So I definitely will cherish those moments. And because of COVID, there were restrictions on events and how many people we can have or should have to make sure we stay safe. And it really made you look at your list of people and make sure, okay, we're only going to have the people that actually no shade matter, you
Right.
know, there, and that we really, really know that have been a part of this journey, this love story. So it helped you think about the important things and really made you look at things on a smaller scale. It didn't have to be so grand, even though it looked grand. Like I said, we were in my in-laws backyard and we just made the best of it.
Yeah, but that's perfect. I mean, like
Yeah,
you say, it's like the love, the marriage,
yeah,
after the wedding, and all those things are like the things that really matter.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's super exciting, and it's beautiful that you put it all together, and
yeah,
like you say, kept the presence of mind and that type of thing, because it's like
yeah,
it definitely has been, you could say, an emotional roller coaster, a financial roller coaster, and that type of
mhm.
thing. So, what was it like for your salon? It's like, obviously, you were like the rest of us, where you were shut down and
Yes,
unable to do clients, period.
yes.
And then, reopening, and then there's been, changes that we've had to make since then. How has that
Mhm.
all affected your salon and your salon team?
Well, it affected us in a major way in the beginning because we were, I would say, 80%, basically, well, really 100% service based business. And we did have retail, we did have the online store, but I really didn't push it the way that I am now because most of our revenue came from the salon. For I could never even think about something like COVID happening. So I'm like, oh, we're good. Our revenue, we're doing great in the salon. And to not be able to service clients for 3 months, I was like, okay, this is crazy. Like, I'm nervous.
Right.
And it really made me think, okay, I have to, that word pivot, I really have to pivot, and we have to change some things around. So instead of this business being 80 to 100% service based, we need, and 20% product, we need to flip that. Even if we don't become 80% product, at least 60, at least 50, so
Mhm.
that the services aren't the only things that we depend on. um that was a change that I implemented soon as we got back into the salon. I'm like, okay, we need to restructure this business, rebrand. We need to get on top of this because while we were out, I noticed that when the only thing we could do was promote and advertise the online store to generate some type of revenue, I saw
Mhm.
how much that we could potentially make. And I'm like, okay, this is good. If I put
Mhm.
more effort into the e-commerce side of House of Bombshell, we could do really well. So I was like, okay, we need a photo shoot. We need this, we need that. How can I expand this brand? And I sat down with my publicist, Reagan, and I told her I wanted more brand awareness, more brand recognition. I wanted people to know more about House of Bombshell and what we offered. I was trying to transition it from just a beauty salon to a beauty and lifestyle brand that just houses a beauty salon. So not only can you shop and purchase these beauty products, you can also come to the beauty salon where we exclusively use these products, and you can shop our merchandise, you can shop our apparel, our bombshell bag, and all of that. So, and our hats for your bad hair day. So I really sat down and really thought, and I think COVID, I think the quarantine for giving me that time to really do that and really come up with a game plan on how we could move forward, how we can be more profitable, and how if something like COVID ever comes again, how we can be more prepared.
Yeah, yeah, that's really powerful, really, especially the last part, it's like I
Mhm.
felt like the only thing that could be something that would shut down the entire globe would be,
Mhm.
God. And
Yes,
that, the message I got from it was like, one, look at what's most important and
yes,
slow down and
yes,
see really, where you want to go moving
yes,
forward. And
yes,
it sounds like it's really propelled you almost in another direction or an expanded direction.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely for sure. Definitely looking to expand and change location so that we can offer customers a better experience and even offer beauty professionals a better experience. I'm seeing too how things are changing. Salon suites have came into the industry like really hard anyway,
Mhm.
but I see now how a lot of beauty professionals are going more so into the salon suites because of COVID, because
Mhm.
it's just them and their client. They can guarantee that it's going to be social distancing because they only have enough space for them and
Right.
maybe another client. And um just being able to have that privacy gives customers a peace of mind.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So did you change locations?
No, did not yet. No, I'm just thinking like, okay, just seeing the trends and just
Mhm.
seeing where this industry may be headed, even if it's not long term, just for a couple months. Not months, just for a few years. I
Mhm.
think that people are going to be moving more so into that direction just because of the state that we are in. And it's just
Mhm.
so many restrictions. The
Mhm.
larger your space and the more people you can the capacity, the more restrictions that you have in place. So yeah, so I'm just trying to figure all of that out and see the salon part, where that is going to go, what
Mhm.
direction we're going to go into that way. And yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to touch on your team. It's like House of Bombshell is your salon, and like you say, it's really more the salon and lifestyle brand or beauty and lifestyle brand now
Yeah,
that houses the salon.
yeah,
But you have what looks like an amazing salon team, and it's
thank
like that is
you.
not always the case these days. People are
Yeah,
looking for people. People are, like you say, going to suites and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So tell us about your team and like how you kind of keep them together, have
yeah,
grown the team and grown them as individuals.
yes. So I think that what has helped keep our team together is just the culture that we have created at House of Bombshell. It is a sisterhood, and it is a community of beauty professionals. And I feel like just even working in hair salons, prior to me getting my own, there was no sense of community really. Like everyone just did their own thing. It really wasn't a team environment, and I was very adamant about making that the culture at House of Bombshell. It is a team-based structure. So we started out as a commission salon, but that was another thing that I um changed after the quarantine and the
Mhm.
lockdown and everything. We became a blended salon. So I transitioned our top earners to booth rent just because for me, because I offered so much as a salon, the overhead became really, really high.
Mm,
And I
right.
was like, yeah, I was like, okay, you're making too much money, which is great, Um, so I was like, okay, it's time for you to move on, and changed it so that new stylists and stylists that are trying to build their book, they have that option to do commission.
Mhm.
Well, they really don't have a choice. They have to do commission.
Right.
They have to do commission until they build their book. And then, we look at their basically their report. So their client retention, we look at their gross earnings, we look at all of that to see how they're trending, to see when they will be able to transition into booth brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was another change that we made. But still, even with that change, it is still a team-based culture. It is a team-based structure. It is just a part of House of Bombshell. And I just feel like if more salons had a team-based culture, we would be a little more successful, even just more so in the Black salon community, because our Caucasian peers, they have that locked down. They work together as a team. I feel like they understand that we work better together, and us as Black beauty professionals, we don't always understand that. So it's so funny because clients will come in and they'll go to one stylist and they'll ask that stylist, oh, well, next time I'm thinking about getting this style. And they're like, oh, well, I don't do that, but you should go to so-and-so because that's her specialty. They're like, what?
A little side eye.
What do you mean? You not going to be mad about that? Like, I'm literally going into sitting in somebody else's chair right across from you. We're like, no, it's fine, but we are so used to, like, you couldn't do that back in the day. It was like unheard of. Like, what you doing over there in that chair? Like, no, we work together because our top priority is, of course, healthy hair and skincare, but also the customer experience. So we want to guarantee that you're going to have a great experience and we're going to meet your needs. And sometimes it may be 2 or 3 of us working together to meet your needs. Like, we had one client, she wanted a custom wig unit and she wanted custom color and a custom cut. So one stylist, Jasmine, she was on the custom wig construction. I was on the hair color and Krista was on the haircut, and she loved her experience. And everything is itemized. So you paid this stylist for the haircut, you paid this stylist for the construction, and you paid me for the color. And it just worked so well. So that is the culture at House of Bombshell. And I think that is what has been so significant in keeping us together. Because the people that we've realized, okay, I have someone sitting beside me. If I have a client in my chair and I have no idea how I'm going to achieve this, I can go right next to me and ask this person, okay, can you help me out with this? Oh, I'm going to put this on your book for this, but she's coming to me for this.
Right. Yeah, I really hope people are taking notes, because it's like you have got like this business model, like of the future. Looking at the hybrid of the commission versus being able to rent, booth rental, team atmosphere, and also people having specialties within the umbrellas. Like, it's like I really love that, and I really think, like you said, that it's if we work together, it's like we go further faster.
Yes.
Yeah, we get that really strong foundation. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It goes off every day. I'm sorry. But I forgot all about it.
That's okay.
But with your salon, it's like you talked about your expansion. So how did all of those pieces kind of start to work together? Because it sounds like you had a lot to kind of think about while we were shut down.
Yes.
You made the transitions, kind of reduce overhead, look at, what you could do capacity wise within the space. And then, it's like you really ramped up what you're doing. So I know you have the bags, which are fabulous. And
Thank you.
And I don't know if you, we may have to try to figure out how to show someone, how they look, or follow her on Instagram.
Yes.
Jessica Kidd _. It's like, we'll put that up shortly. And And you have the products, the hair and scalp products as
Yeah.
well. And any other things that are kind of under that umbrella?
So we have like apparel. So we have t-shirts and sweatshirts. We also have hats. So our t-shirts and sweatshirts, we are releasing some for spring. But we took we put them on like the back burner for fall and winter
Okay.
because of everything else we had going on, like the bags and the toiletry bags. But the t-shirts and sweatshirts, they will be back out in spring. But we do have winter hats, and thanks to my client, she was sitting in my chair and she asked, Jess, what you got coming for winter? And I'm like, well, I was thinking about doing winter Scully hats. And she said, "Oh, you should make it with satin on the inside." I was like,
Right.
"Say less, say less." I contacted my supplier and I said, "Hey, can you do this?" And they said, "Yeah." So we got a sample, made the prototype, and people loved it. Just the idea of a wool hat but being satin lined, and it's cute, it's branded, they can still represent the beauty lifestyle brand House of Bombshell. People loved it. I'm in the process of ordering more because they sold out really quick, so I'm in the process of ordering more, but making them a little different this time. So some will have just a logo, some will have Bombshells only, because everybody doesn't want to walk around with Bomb AF on there. My more mature clients, like, get that off of there. Like, come on, can you come up with something else? I want to wear a hat. I'm like, okay, you're right. So we're going to come out with some different ideas for the wool hats, but they are satin lined. They feel so good. You won't have to worry about hair breakage or anything. So yes. So the apparel is just another part of that lifestyle brand aspect. Yep.
Nice. Well, definitely, I think that's a hit, all over the country. It's like, especially the cold weather climate,
Yeah.
where it's like, every winter, it's like, I know my sister, she's in Michigan, and she's like, every winter I tell them what to do. And,
And the
but
hair.
finding something like that's a game changer. So
Yes.
that's awesome. Yeah. And then you said that you ramped up your e-commerce part. So talk to us about that, because so many of us as hairstylists, it's like we're not necessarily that tech savvy. We like the idea of it, but we don't know where to start. So what was that journey like for you?
That was a journey because I initially did House of Bombshell website on my own. So I just used templates and everything. And I was like, we need a place for clients to come, book, and get more information about us. And that's it. So I did it. I did it on my own. But when I knew that I wanted to take the product to another level, I needed an actual e-commerce section for the website. And what I did, I knew wasn't going to take us to the next level. So I definitely had to hire a web developer. Golden Launch, they were amazing. They came up with a plan and designed it using my Pinterest board and what I wanted it to look like. And it turned out really, really well, because I felt like I just tried to put myself in the consumer's shoes. And when I go to a beauty website, whether it's for skin or hair, I want to see beautiful pictures. I want to see beautiful hair. I want to see, pictures that are bright and just clean. I knew that the experience started when they went to the website, not when they purchased the product and got it in their hands. It starts way before that. So I'm like, okay, I want to give the consumer a different experience. So they took all of that into consideration and revamped and gave it the website a facelift, and I love it. And we recently just did a survey asking customers, how did they like the new site? Was it easy to navigate? And we got all 5s, which was the highest the
Yeah.
highest number that you could get. So that meant a lot to me, because of course sometimes we're going to always think that what we do is just so great and and wonderful, but to get the feedback from customers that they are enjoying the e-commerce site and just the whole website experience, it really meant a lot. So
Yeah.
basically, definitely having to hire someone who that was their specialty and that's their expertise makes the difference. Investing in that, because it can be costly, but when you believe in your brand and you have visions of what it could possibly be, you're making that initial investment. It doesn't matter. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think, before it's like that was like a fabulous branding tip, with what people
Mhm.
want to see and approaching it from, what the consumer experience is like,
Yes.
and feeling like, it's like they're not having the experience until they get it in their hands. It's
Yes.
like little gold nuggets there, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
even with the salon experience, I always tell my staff, like, the experience doesn't start when they sit in your chair. The experience starts from them booking an appointment. Like when they go to your website or when they call and the person answering the phone, are they lively? Are they upbeat? Can you hear the smile in their voice when they are talking to you? Are they knowledgeable when the customer is asking them questions about what they want to get done? Can you offer them the best possible, advice or, answer?
Right.
When they go to your booking site, is it easy to navigate? Are you friendly? Because I went to a booking site for a braider and I was like, I'm not booking with you. You are mean.
Okay.
So that is where the experience even starts. So just
Mhm.
being mindful of that, like putting yourself really in the customer or the consumer client's shoes and having a real conversation with yourself. Dag, would I want to book with me? Would I want to book with this company? Would I want to buy from this company? So yeah,
Right.
that's what I really had to do. Take a step back, put myself in those shoes and approach it from that point of view.
Yeah, yeah, really good tip. And your experience is making me think about, or what you're sharing is making me think about us. Like I coached a salon team.
Uh-huh.
It's like, we're having different conversations and, it's like I think that the group has to make some of those decisions or what have you, but they have to see things first. And
Yes.
one of the things that they saw during the training that we were doing was, it's like, wow, it's like when people come in here, it's like, the website was so impressive and they had
Mm-hmm.
done, the professional photo shoots and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff, that when people come in, they're like, well, are you the one that I saw on the website? Because they
Uh-huh.
weren't looking the part at every day. And they realize it for themselves and they had
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we're up in our game. It's like we gotta
Yeah.
look like the people on the website. So when
Yeah.
people come in, it's the next step of their experience. So
Yes.
yeah. So when people don't recognize you, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that
You.
just came to mind, right. But yeah, it's like taking those steps, all of them, where it's like this
Yes.
is all creating your brand. So it's like I love that.
Yes.
And you mentioned, investing in your business, and it's like
Yes.
you mentioned working with a PR person.
Yes.
So, as beauty professionals, why should we consider that? What should we
Mm-hmm.
look out for, or what should we be looking at,
Mm-hmm.
if that's a direction that we're thinking about?
Mm-hmm. So PR is so important, and people, they business owners or beauty entrepreneurs, we will brand you to death. We will market you to death, right? That's all we really talk about is branding and marketing, but we forget about public relations, and public relations is the communication between you and your public, so you and your audience, and just being able to know how to strategically communicate with your audience will change things in your business, as well as getting that brand awareness, more awareness out there about your brand. That's what publicists do. They get they will pitch you to magazines and newspapers and your local radio shows, or your local TV shows and new TV news shows and all of that. So basically, it's media, it's communication, and how you can get the message out to your audience. Marketing is, okay, how can we make money from this message? How can we make money from this product? Brandon, what does this product look like? And PR, okay, how can I say this to my audience? What can I say so that my audience knows about this product that I'm branding, that I'm trying to profit off of, basically. So they definitely helped with putting myself and House of Bombshell in magazines, local magazines, even magazines that are not in the DMV area. Of course, I would like a global brand, but I'm like, I just want our local,
Mm-hmm. Right.
I want our local audience to know about House of Bombshell and what we offer. Mm-hmm. And what we have available, and that and thank goodness for Instagram, because we can touch so many people that live in different areas. So we're in Baltimore, but we have people who order from Florida, from LA, from Virginia. So it was a great investment to invest in the publicity. Just having someone pitch us to different media outlets was great, because I do have a degree in PR, but I took my business as far as I could with the experience that I had. Right. And it was time to hire experts at that point. And at that time, PR was more important to me than marketing. I feel like now marketing is more important because we have the product, we have more brand awareness, we have results that we've been in the media, so we have something that we can market with now. We can, so now our concern is, okay, we have all these things, how can we profit off of it? So now we need the expert to help us do that. So so PR is so important, especially if you're not really good at communicating with your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That voice, realizing who your target audience is and speaking directly to them.
Yeah, well, that is phenomenal. Like a breakdown of, how it works and which piece goes where, because it can be so confusing to try to figure out. And like you say, you get to a point where it's like, we're in the I can figure it out and I can do it kind of thing. But then you get to a certain point and it's like, okay, I need to hire, I need to get someone who's really focused on this, because like as a business owner, it's like you have so many balls to juggle at any given time that it really is good when you can have someone that, this is what they do. This is what they're coming to do. That's their job. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And, just having someone to create those things for you that you need, like a media kit and, a pitch deck and stuff like that, so that when brands do want to partner with you, you have something already available and you can just send right to them. Having someone do that for you instead of you trying to go to Canva and figure it out for yourself, and then it may not be, correct. And it's time to hire the professional so that they can do that for you, and it can be great and professional.
Right. And get results.
Yes. So definitely hire someone who specializes in results. So check the resume, check that if I could say, give anyone any advice about that, just check their resume, check that client list, see their case studies, because PR and marketing specialists, they have case studies, and that is, the cases that they have worked on, the clients they have worked with, and their proven results. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is really like top-notch kind of information, because I think it can be so scary, when we have been, hands-on, and it's like,
Yes.
we wanna do this, and it's like, "Well, I think I can do this," and
Yes.
it doesn't look too difficult, and then when you
Yes.
start to say, it's like, "Okay, I've gotta hand it off."
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is very scary for me because I'm a control freak, and I've been operating this train for the last maybe 10 years, I guess. Yeah, so since I came home from Atlanta, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, like give some type of control up, but it definitely paid off, even with trying to actually hiring like a social media manager. I realized I'm managing about 4 social media pages. That is crazy. Like, no. So, because I want to take House of Bombshell, to a different level, I also want people to look at our Instagram and want to buy. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, I've taken our Instagram page as far as I can. I don't have the knowledge in what it's going to take to make our audience turn our audience into repeat buyers on social media. So it's time to bring a consultant in, so this is their specialty, so that they can work on this. And it's just another investment, and it hurts sometimes, but you got to do a couple extra sew-ins or a couple extra color jobs. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, these are sacrifices that just have to be made.
Yeah. It's like I had, like, as kind of a question or thought, like, why do you feel like your brand and everything is working? Like, people are getting it and all that kind of stuff. But I think you've already answered all of that.
Yeah.
Because you're investing in yourself, in your business, in your
Yes.
brand, and what you believe in.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, with looking at kind of the landscape of beauty, where do you kind of see us going, or things that may be mistakes, or things that maybe are really working in the beauty industry right now in 2022?
I see us going in a great direction, especially going back to like Black Colorists Matter. I see that we are really, while we're getting a lot more opportunities from bigger brands because we are Black, and then wanting to partner with Black artists and Black beauty professionals. I see us paving our own way too, in a sense. Like, I definitely see a lot more workshops and virtual trade shows and all of that. Just trying to help build our skill set when it comes to color and cutting. So definitely see us going into a great direction when it comes to that. I definitely see bigger brands becoming more inclusive, partnering with Black brands. I feel like when it first happened, they were like just like trying to, like, what do we do? How can we help? What can we do now? And tell us, what do we need to do to be more inclusive? And it's just like, it's easy, just include us. Like, that's it. And I feel like for a short time, they were doing that. And then it felt like, okay, they just want to see Black people on the pages. No. And then, white artists were doing the hair, and they were doing like texture hair. No, that's not all we want. We want Black faces. We want Black hair on there and models, but we also want Black artists to do the jobs, to get the jobs, to be able to get the jobs. We just want fairness and equity across the board. So I think once we started speaking out about that, I definitely tuned into some live Instagram segments of like top people in the Black hair community, and they were talking about that. So I think that once we called them out on that, then they really started getting it, and they have definitely I've seen more partnerships with Black beauty professionals and more Black artists. I wouldn't say in the boardroom, but definitely a part of the decision-making process, or being a part of the teams that create these initiatives, like Amplify Diverse Hair, and Kia, she is a part of that. I remember it was more so like a partnership or consulting kind of thing now. I mean, the first time, but this time she's actually like a part of that entire, initiative. Like, she is not, I guess I would say, a consultant, and before it was just like a partnership type of thing. So she definitely is a consultant for Wella when it comes to diversity and inclusion, and I just love that for us. Like, I love for someone to be a part of that process, not just reaching out to us when there's an issue or they want to do something for Black History Month, but someone always there driving diversity and promoting change in our industry. So I definitely see our industry going in a great direction. Of course, this is the $1 billion industry. Black hair care, we spend the most money when it comes to this industry. Millions and millions. We are the top consumers. So I know for a fact, like, the hair industry is probably the most resilient when there's ever an economic downturn. So we're not going anywhere. And like I mentioned before, I see, because of COVID and the restrictions and people wanting to be safe and feel like they're safe when they go to the salon, I definitely see a lot more salon suites popping up, and salons turning into salon suites. And I did work in a salon suite for a few years, so I will never talk bad about it, because it helped me really build my brand when I couldn't find my space anywhere else. But it has its pros and its cons. So if I were to do a salon suite, it would still be the same aspect, and it would be more so of a co-working space, as opposed to just close your door, be shut off, and not communicate or talk to anyone. Yeah. So definitely, I see us going into that direction, and beauty isn't going anywhere.
Right. Well, you and I are definitely on the same page with that. So, yeah, but it really is encouraging to hear, the state of Black colorists, and, kind of where things are, and that there is progress that's being made, and it's not just, kind of a superficial, like you say, reach out because it's convenient, or the trend, or the topic at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, it is good to hear that. And it's like, I would love to see more. So what would that look like for you? It's like, in an ideal world, if you could paint the picture, what would that kind of look like?
In an ideal world, I would love to see a diversity, equity, and inclusion department in every top hair brand. That should just be something, and really hire a diverse set of employees to implement and for you to consult with before you put out this marketing campaign, before you respond to this speech, or anything. So having someone, a strategic communicator, and all of these top brands who will always drive diversity and inclusion would be something bigger, and what I would love to see for us as Black artists.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we've all seen the diversity board that has zero diversity, and it's
Mhm.
like,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
how is that gonna work? Because
Exactly. Yep. Mhm. Yes.
like,
Yes.
so yeah, I
So
absolutely agree. And like
yeah,
you were saying earlier, hire more Black artists as
hire
well.
more Black artists. Yes, having them just like, for example, um one of my clients, she recently found out she has celiac disease,
Mhm, mhm,
and so she has a gluten intolerance. And because of that, even the shampoos that are
mhm,
packed with gluten, she is intolerant to. So her sister-in-law, who's also a hairstylist, because she has clients who suffer from that, she noticed it right away. So after
mhm,
she noticed it, and just in conversation with one of my stylists, she shared that with her at an appointment, and I started researching it, and I was blown away. Like, I researched every shampoo on our back bar, and 80% of our shampoos were loaded with wheat
mhm.
proteins. And I was like, wow. Major learning curve.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just learning more about that and how we can offer more gluten-free products. And it's amazing, a lot of the Black hair care products have, gluten in them.
Mhm,
So we have to look outside of that and research and try out other products. And so I've been researching other brands, and one brand that is predominantly Caucasian, predominantly white. I did reach out to them, and they're like, "Oh, what made you want to start using, this brand?" And I told her, and I said, African Americans, there is a increase in African Americans and gluten intolerance, and
mhm.
we want to get ahead of that. We want to, be able to offer our clients these options. As a Black owned salon, I think this will be great for not only our clients, but our community and the people
Right.
around us who need this. So they were just like, "Oh, absolutely!" Like, they just jumped right on it. I'm like, I know it's because we're Black, and they want to be more inclusive, but I'm gonna take it. So, but
Right, right.
yeah, so just educating them, because
Mhm.
they don't know. But if they do have someone within their company, explaining to them these things and educating them on this, it wouldn't take me as a consumer, you
Mhm,
know
mhm. Right.
to do it. Even with the extension class that I took, I'm like, I'm in the extension class, and it was a great extensions class. It definitely is taking me to the next level when it comes to microlinks and all of that. But I'm in a class, and I'm looking around, and no one looks like me. The pictures on the wall, the videos that are in the
Mhm.
slideshow, nothing. Like, nothing looks like me, even down to the hair. And I, me being me, I'm like, what are your plans for to be more diverse? And
Right, right.
and how are you open to offering, other textures, other patterns, and it's like, well, why don't you call our corporate office, ask them? I sure will. I sure will.
Okay.
So just trying to be that change agent, and just becoming more. You should never stop learning. So just becoming more educated myself, and just pushing that envelope and challenging them, and seeing if they're going to rise up and say, okay, yes, like, we're on board. We want to influence this along with you. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, like you say, like, it's kind of like, what is it, at the airport, where if you see something, say something.
Yes.
And and ask the questions, and really, like you say, the never stop learning and the tie-ins together. It's like this month will be about health and wealth, as well as, playing bigger. But
Yeah.
but our health is like so key and so critical. It's like we've got one episode we already aired with the National Beauty Culturist League, NBCL, um,
Mm-hmm.
and a partnership that we have to help take care of women's health, because it
Mm-hmm.
is so vital, and there's so many things that
Yeah.
are affecting our community, and affect it more. Um, for some reason, like, we seem to be more sensitive to
Yeah.
certain things, and
Yeah.
so looking at celiacs, that is something phenomenal to
Yeah.
look at the impact that the
Yeah.
wheat proteins and that type of thing are having.
Mhm.
And it's why a lot of times technologies change, and it's like, oh, we got this great new product and it has X, Y, and Z, like when that kind of stuff was coming out. But
Yeah.
now we've got to shift and
Mhm.
make some different choices, because we
Yeah.
realize how it's affecting our clientele and our community. So
Yes.
yeah, so kudos to you for
Yes.
paying attention, because a lot of times
Yes.
you can sweep things under the rug. Oh, that's just that person, kind of thing.
Yes. 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 I contacted my client. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so much research. Like, I can't stop. This is crazy. I was apologizing. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't never knew. And she was like, it is not your fault. And she just,
Right.
I was like, kudos to her sister-in-law, because she had clients who suffered from that. She was able to notice it just like that. And that's what it takes. Like, that is what this industry is all about. That's why we just cannot stop learning. We cannot stop learning. So as soon as we are approached with something, we know right away, oh, this is that. And I have a product for that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. To be the solution. Yeah.
Yes.
To be the
Yep.
solution.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I am like so excited that you were here today, because it's like you have just
I'm
shared so
excited
much with us. And so it's like, it's like my brain feels like it's full.
too.
But is there anything else that you want to share with us about, where, I don't know, best advice or something that maybe came to you throughout this transition that you're making, because we're all in a place of, needing to pivot or needing to reinvent.
Yes, I would say my best advice would be things change, and I just had this business model, this business structure of how I wanted House of Bombshell Beauty Parlor to be. And even at one time, like years ago, I'm like, I'm not interested in selling hair. Like, I'll sell it just for whoever wants it, but I'm not interested in it. And I see now that it can be very profitable. It can be very profitable, and it definitely helped us when we were locked down and we couldn't service clients. So they still had Zoom calls. They were ordering clip-ins like crazy. Like, oh yeah, I can clip this in and look presentable, So just being able to just being open to change. Sometimes I'm a little resistant to it, because I'm like, no, this is the plan, and I had to do this for these amount of years, and then we can do this, and just being in control. And I have learned throughout these last couple of years, you have no control, and you only have control over what you control, which is really not a lot. So
Right.
so you just have to just flow and grow through it, and just be open to change. That's it. I had COVID, and I was down, like I couldn't do anything. I'm like, okay, the lockdown was enough. You didn't mean to tell me I gotta be locked down again. And and it also gave me even more time to it was basically like confirmation. Okay, so you making these changes and restructuring the business and transitioning people to booth rent, and going harder when it comes to the e-commerce part of the business was necessary. Because look, you couldn't work. Didn't work for 6 weeks, but the business continued to make money. and not just off of services, but off of product as well. So that was a proud moment, and it was confirmation that I made the right choice a year prior to. And yeah, that's it. Just don't be resistant to change, be open. And this road is a winding road. This entrepreneurship is the winding road, ups and downs and twists and turns, but just enjoy the process. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you had COVID, but we're definitely happy that you are well and
Thank
doing
you.
better.
Yes.
And you're so right with, the things we can't control are much, there's many more of those than the things we can. And so, yeah. I spoke with a client I was coaching, and she's like, it's like, I'm just, wanting things to mellow out. And it's like, they may or may not mellow out the way you think they're going to mellow out. So
Like, no,
we just have to prepare ourselves for the ride,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So appreciate you saying that. I think that will help and touch a lot of people. And like you say, it's like you make a decision one year and you don't even know what the impact of it will be going down the road. But it's like we just have to make our best decision with the information that we have. Like you say, remain open. Be able to see, things play out. And it's like, okay, well, thank God I did that. Yeah. So what's next for you guys? What's next for Jessica? What's next for House of Bombshell?
What's next for
And
me?
Black Colorists Matter, for that matter.
What's next for Jessica Kidd? I would say, well, my husband and I, we're definitely trying to start a family. So yeah. I'm like, yes, let me do this before 40.
Okay.
So we're definitely trying to do that personally. And as far as Jessica Kidd professionally, I'm definitely trying to show the world more of me. So, more of my life as, I guess, this beauty boss, showing people not just the highlights, but the lows too. And just, empowering people to keep pushing and to keep going. So that's more of Jessica Kidd. For House of Bombshell, just continuing to grow our e-commerce and, just trying to turn our audience into repeat buyers, figuring out what that marketing strategy looks like. Eventually, I definitely want us to expand into a larger space. So I can accommodate the stylists and the artists a little bit better, and our customers. And for Black Colorists Matter, continuing being that vehicle for deeper engagement. I would love to pick back up on the interviews and interviewing Black colorists over there, and hopefully, coming up with some ways that we could do like workshops. So even if it's virtual workshops, so that we can help improve the skill set for Black colorists. That's it. Yeah.
I love it. We're here for all of it. So yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So definitely continued success on your journey and building this brand. It's like you've given us such like inspiration, a structure and like how to look at things a little bit differently than we may have been looking at them an hour ago. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Just, sharing your light and sharing your experience as you continue on your path as a beauty boss. Love it.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Like I said, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to just sit and talk to you. You are like one of the GOATs in the industry. So yes, much respect. So thank you so much for having me and believing in me, believing in Black Colorists Matter. And just being patient while I had COVID, got married again, and restructured my business, and now we're here. So thank you for everything. Thank you for your support and encouragement.
Yes. Anytime. It's like definitely continued success. Definitely, be sure to follow Jessica on at Jessica Kidd, and it's 2 underscores after Kidd, Kidd.
Yeah.
And you can follow her, and then you can link up to Black Colorist Matter and to House of Bombshell. So
Yes.
yeah, we appreciate you being here. It's like I appreciate everybody for watching and for joining us for another episode of Beauty Superstars Talk. And again, it's like we have more than 80 episodes that you can check out. It's like in all types of different avenues of the beauty industry, whether it be retail or um, salon ownership or running your salon, advertising, marketing. It's like all kinds of good stuff, as well as interviews with some of the legends of the industry. And we have more on your health coming up this month and more on your wealth coming up this month. So definitely stay tuned. And definitely, again, check out the first interview that Jessica and I did with
Yes.
Black Colorists Matter, or really asking the question, do Black colorists matter? Because it was kind of looking like we weren't
We
mattering.
weren't.
So,
Yeah.
so definitely check out that. Very enlightening. And definitely, it's like I appreciate you being here. Definitely be sure to follow and subscribe on my YouTube channel so that you can keep getting this information, and you can sign up for notification on beautysuperstars.com/podcast. It'll be a little pop up, and you can sign up for our weekly master classes like this. And also, while you're there, be sure to get your free copy of the Power Pricing Workbook, which is for hairstylists to be able to help you take the first 3 steps in raising your prices. So if you know you should have raised your prices, you've been thinking about raising your prices, or you just don't know how to raise your prices, it's like definitely grab that. It's at beautysuperstars.com/pricing. And so I want to thank you again and look forward to seeing you next time. So keep reaching for the stars. Take good care.